thing that I find interesting with Pixar is they haven't really stopped doing what they're doing. They've kept a lot of the same team on, and when you watch interviews with like, a lot of the creators and directors, there's still quite a lot of passion. But I just wonder if in recent years they've lost their spark.
Yeah, they definitely have.
Because I feel like, when we were growing up, and that was obviously when Pixar first started, almost every film was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
And I mean, they pioneered like CG animation. I mean, obviously started with Toy Story.
Yeah.
But like, my God, some of the early Pixar films are just some of like I have the fondest memories of.
Cars.
Oh God, love Cars. I mean, it's sort of a nothing film, but I love just the nostalgia. Up, of course.
Up is amazing. Classic. Up is an amazing film.
Up is fantastic. I mean, God, the first 15 minutes.
Amazing filmmaking.
Jesus.
And I love movies like that. That just Pixar did a great job of this, of just bringing the adults into it as well and engaging them on a certain level. Yeah. And also it's not just a straight up kids movie. It actually has darker themes and stuff.
Exactly.
I think kids movies should have dark themes. I think those are some of the best.
No, definitely.
Because like Up, if you think about it, it's like at the beginning, it's so like
sad and melancholic.
Sad, just the idea of death and losing your loved ones, that sort of thing, and
the fact that it encapsulates like a whole life within 15 seconds. Like,
it's incredible.
I mean, that's crazy. Just not a masterclass in animation. That's just a masterclass in filmmaking in general. And I mean, The Incredibles, Monsters Inc. is like probably my favorite. I love Monsters Inc.
Do you?
Do you not love? I love Monsters Inc. So much.
It was never one that hit me so hard.
Really, not even.
I did like it. I thought it was funny.
That ending, man, that still gets me teary eyed. Kitty's gotta go. Boo.
Do they still hold up when you rewatch them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me they do.
Early Pixar.
Yeah,
definitely.
And another one that really, really blows me away is WALL-E.
Yeah,
oh
WALL-E.
God,
I feel
WALL-E
like people are catching on to how good WALL-E is.
Yeah, it's insane.
It was very misunderstood at the time.
Was it?
I feel like it was. Yeah, a lot of people like it was just so different for them.
Yeah,
but I think WALL-E's an excellent film. And
brilliant.
It's like only gone
making
better
a statement about the world. The direction that technology can go, and amazing movie. Like and full of so much heart, and the filmmaking in it was just great. It's got like an 8.4 on IMDb. It's just insane, and that's what's so great when you watch a kids movie that really just hits hard on so many different levels. And actually, weirdly, more than any other movie, a lot of the time, kids movies in particular can hit me on a certain level that other movies don't.
Of course.
Because even films that you maybe perhaps didn't watch when you were a kid, like Inside Out, I wasn't young when I saw it, but it still hit me on that level because it just makes you think like a kid again in a way. You know? You're seeing it through an adult pair of eyes.
Exactly. It's a very cliched saying, but it speaks to the kid in all of us. But it's true.
It does. They really do.
Absolutely. And I think that's why the early Pixar films still hold up.
Yeah.
Because you just remember where you were whilst watching them.
Finding Nemo.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Of course. Finding Nemo. Ratatouille.
Great movie.
Some absolute bangers.
But do you think that perhaps it's the fact that we're not kids anymore, that we're not resonating with the ones that have come out recently?
Yes, but I feel like at the beginning, Pixar was always very good at creating multi-generational films.
Yeah, I guess
that we all could enjoy.
What I was just saying.
And they've kind of lost their touch in that respect. And I do wonder if it's also a case of like the industry as well, because I came across this quote from a guy called Bob Chapek. He's no longer at Disney. That's a whole other story. But he said this during this from a 2022 Wall Street Journal conference. Our fans and audiences put their kids to bed at night after watching Pinocchio, Dumbo, or Little Mermaid. Then they're probably not going to tune in for another animated movie. They want something to them. They want something for them. Sorry. And I find that interesting because does it show that maybe people aren't putting as much effort into animated films?
Yeah,
like from that quote.
I hate that. When people make that argument of like, oh, it's dumb, and it's just like, oh, well, it's a kids' film. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's dumb. It's like, how are you like? All of these movies, if you look into it deeply, like we're encoding messages into our children. We want them to be good messages. We want them to be deep. Full of great archetypes that tell a story in the right way and get them thinking and install a kind of deep morality,
just like
into
a moral
kids.
code.
Yeah, and I think that's why I get so emotional at certain kids' movies when you can see it has such a pure morality in it that is just so beautiful that it's designed for kids, you know.
Yeah, but also with the adults in mind, and it's like it's an intelligent, you know, pure morality. Because I feel like sometimes when animated films do that, it can feel very basic and like an after-school special.
Yeah.
Like this is bad. Whereas like with a lot of the early Pixar films, there was always so much to it.
For sure.
And I feel like just recently. It hasn't been the same. I mean, I've heard they're getting back on track. Like a lot of people really like this film called Elio.
Yeah, I've heard
that hasn't done very well, and that's another thing.
And Soul was
good. Soul apparently was very good, and that's another thing. And I think this is also like a case of like, you know, COVID and streaming. Animated films maybe aren't doing as well.
Yeah,
because there's too much for our kids to watch.
Exactly, that's the thing.
And that's like that's if you think that's hurt Pixar a little bit.
So if you look back at when we were young, I think that's why these films were so special to us, because, you know, you look at kids these days and they have an iPad when they're like so young, and
they're from day dot. They're raised on that, man. You know, so you come out the womb, here you go, boom,
it's insane.
iPad.
Playing Roblox and all these games and stuff. And it's just
Fortnite.
and they're, you know, something scrolling through TikTok and you've got all these, you know, AI animations and stuff, and it just doesn't feel as special to them. And it's kind of sad in a way, because, you know, when we were young, it was just you were transfixed, you were transported to a new dimension.
Exactly. No, these
it was so
films,
exciting.
And generally, I mean, you know, generally, like a lot of, you know, kids media in general and just films, they felt like an event.
Of course.
Like, think about it. Like, you know, the next Toy Story, the next Shrek, next Harry Potter. It's not like you could rewatch it, you know, the next day. You had to wait at least 10 months for that to come out on DVD or video. Really felt special, like an event. Whereas now, the younger generation's just, you know, they're spoiled for choice.
Yeah, it's just abundance. Fine,
it will be on Netflix in the next week.
But I don't want to talk too negatively about that abundance issue, because that's just the way the world is going.
Exactly.
And, you know,
and like with any change, you know, there are positives and there are negatives.
Yeah, exactly. But I still feel like, you know, when a good movie comes out, no matter what, you know, people will see that and they'll appreciate it for what it is. But I totally agree with you that it definitely,
and
not just from an adult point of view, but just generally, it has lost its spark in recent years. And I think that is partly to do with just the lack of creativity and just, you know, formulaic storytelling and all of that stuff, but also just the fact that,
you know, Disney Plus, you know, just like kind of the corporate regime as well.
Disney Plus was... man, it seemed like it really, really hurt Disney, like massively.
Like for sure. I mean, especially like, you know, it's hurt Marvel. Yeah, definitely, because it was just quality over quantity, and then the fact that it launched, you know, during the pandemic, we were stuck at home.
I don't know if it's just the reputation of Disney or even or the money. I mean, sure, they're doing fine money wise. Yeah. Because it's just
they'll be good.
They'll be fine. But it's just in terms of quality and their reputation.
But it's just very interesting with Pixar, because, you know, like again, those films used to feel like an event, and they don't anymore. I mean, even one that I really like called Coco. I don't know if you saw Coco. Coco was like, on the surface feels like a classic Pixar film, but I feel like at that point I started to see them using a formula, and at that point I never thought I would say that about Pixar, because obviously, you know, they were kind of the pioneers of that genre, but I always thought they were the most unique, intelligent studio making like animated films. And even though Coco was very good, very emotional, it felt a bit formulaic. I was like, God, okay, I've seen these beats in like other Pixar films.
It's difficult.
You know,
it's difficult.
Really interesting.
Making kids movies is hard, man.
Yeah,
because you need to be unpredictable, you need to be special, you need to be unique, but also you are going to follow these more pure kind of you know, formulas in storytelling, in the sense that it's going to be a moral story.
Yeah, but then at the same time, when Pixar did it back in the day, it felt like it meant something. You know, the moral, realistic storytelling.
Maybe that was just
now it feels part of the formula.
But maybe that was just because we were kids.
Yeah, no, that is a part of it. But then even if you just, I don't know, you look at like the landscape of cinema, they could take more risks. Yeah, like, you know, going on to another big, you know, animation studio, DreamWorks.
DreamWorks,
like back in the day, I mean, DreamWorks was very much the anti-Pixar. Like, God, could they fucking make Shrek now with how like filthy and vulgar it is, all the adult jokes for kids?
I'd hope.
Yeah, you would hope. But like, I mean, how do you feel about DreamWorks? Because, you know, I feel like they're in a weird slump as well. I mean, what have they
come out with recently that was good?
The Boss Baby.
What the hell was that?
Have you seen
the
Boss Baby?
Did anyone see that? Did anyone see
the Boss Baby, Oscar-nominated masterpiece. one of the weirdest animated films I've ever seen. You got to watch it at some point, man. There's really weird lore to it.
Oh, the Wild
bizarre.
Robot. Have you seen the Wild Robot?
I heard very good things about the Wild Robot.
Yeah.
So in that case, maybe DreamWorks are doing it best right now.
Just hit and misses, man. Hit and misses. Yeah. I mean, DreamWorks was never my favorite when I was a kid. It had some bangers, but like we said, it was just hit and miss.
Not even Shrek. Were you not a Shrek?
No,
kid?
I wasn't a Shrek fan.
Yeah,
not that I didn't like it, but I was never like, oh, Shrek, I love Shrek, you know.
No, for me, I hold particularly Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is,
this guy absolutely fucking loves Shrek 2.
Okay, one of my favorite films of all time in the top 10, and actually, not even bullshit, one of the best comedies ever made. And specifically Shrek 2, remember that. Not Shrek 1, though the first Shrek is great.
I respect
Shrek
that.
2, it's a perfect comedy, man. And it's the perfect sequel. It's so
the
clever,
voice acting. The voice acting
exactly. But it's really interesting because at the time, I feel like, especially with Pixar, DreamWorks was seen as kind of like, they were like the edgy ones. Because then if you look back on a lot of the old DreamWorks films, there are so many jokes you couldn't get away with.
Yeah,
like
Shrek.
Shrek is just there are weird jokes.
So many phallic symbols.
Exactly. So many sexual innuendos, sexual jokes. But I mean, I love it for that. It was really groundbreaking at the time.
But it didn't harm the kids because the kids had no idea.
But I don't think
just for the adults.
No, it was never harmful. I feel like Shrek was like, it did in a way where it was like winking to the adults.
Yeah, I love that. It's clever.
Not in a bad way.
It's clever. Something. Do you know much about Illumination?
In that they have a very interesting strategy where they just make it on the cheap. That's what I heard.
Yeah. They're a production company in particular that I really am not that fond of.
And no, I know they've become a bit of a punching bag. Like people love to fucking take the piss out of Illumination.
Yeah. Not to say that Despicable Me wasn't a decent movie, but and then you just got Minions.
I mean, God, like
all this
mate, Steve Carell's laughing all the way to the bank. Like, forget all the Office residuals, Despicable Me residuals. But no, look, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't watched since the since the second one. I don't keep, I just
they just took that and ran with it basically. Despicable Me 4, it's gone, and then they got the whole spin-off with Minions.
I mean, but how do you feel about Minions, man? They've been such a blessing and a curse for the whole world. It's very hard to explain.
I love Minions and I hate Minions at the same time.
Exactly, because out of context, they're the most irritating, it's the most irritating humor.
It's just brainless comedy.
Exactly. It's like there was a period where someone would post a meme and it was just a minion going, Lem's bottom, banana. It's like, that's not funny.
I think that's really like 4-year-old dumb fucking humor.
Oh, absolutely.
And what I don't like, and what you said about Illumination, being cheap, is just the character designs. It's just so duplicated.
Exactly.
You notice it actually a lot, even in just like background characters. They're just basically copy and paste, which is just so fucking lazy. Mm-hmm. And also with their characters, they don't, when you're a kid, you look at certain characters, especially when it comes to like 2D animation. Yeah. You take one look at them and you know what that character's all about. Their look represents their personalities, and that's a big thing that people would mention about Illumination. Yeah. Is that their character designs really don't. Yeah. They're all very, especially in that Sing movie.
But then people love Sing.
They
think that's a really great
When it
film.
comes to the actual character designs and the filmmaking behind it, it's really poor, just in terms of the creativity. When you compare it to such brilliant movies in, Pixar.
Yeah, well, no, for example, and I think this is why, Pixar has also struggled, is when you have stuff like Spider-Verse. Yeah. I know you haven't seen it, have you?
No, I've heard that's fantastic.
My God, I mean, no, really, that has revolutionized animation, particularly Into the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse, still very good, but I think that's a masterpiece of animation.
What did you see Puss in Boots?
I've heard Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is meant to be a masterpiece, right?
I love that. Incredible. I love it when a movie like Puss in Boots come out and then people just rave about it, like, oh my God, it's amazing, and you have to see it. Just these unexpected movies that actually turn out to be just a fucking masterpiece. Yeah, it's great.
But then also people say that Leica are very good. Like, I don't know if you heard of Kubo and the Two Strings.
I have no idea what.
Right.
That is.
Okay. They're like a very small studio. Actually, no. Well, they did Coraline.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I know that's stop motion, but like some of that animated films, people fucking love.
Yeah. In particular, Coraline. Well, that's stop motion.
That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, a lot of people say now that they could not ever watch that movie as an adult, and they didn't realize how terrifying it was when they were a kid, which I think is great. Yeah. I think, like I said, kids' movies should scare the shit out of you in some ways. Kind of like how Harry Potter has such dark themes in them. And, you know, it told the story right, and it had the archetypes on point.